Alright, what's going on everyone? Here we are with something that's not brand new, but while we're still waiting for the Switch Pro to come out, I couldn't wait any longer and I needed to upgrade my original Switch. Now this video is basically going to be my first impressions on the new to me, I know it's been out for a little bit now, is the OLED edition Nintendo Switch. So I still have the original. I traded in the Switch Lite that I got my wife to apply to the OLED trade-in at GameStop, and I gave her my original Switch so that way she can dock it, and then I'll have a docking one as well. So I'll be able to do side-by-side comparisons. I just want to do a quick unboxing of this and just see if there's any difference on the way it feels. From what I've seen before, there's not much difference. I've heard there's a few upgrades compared to the original, and of course the OLED screen, and then I'll kind of give my opinion at the end of this video on if I think it's worthy of the upgrade. So as you can see, the box is definitely smaller. They're compacting the size of it, I guess. I don't know if there's anything different, but this is the original box. As you can see, it's definitely half the size of the original box. And then you can see here, this is the Switch Lite. So that's one thing that they changed from the original Switch. Colorful pictures of the Switch on the back there. Now I got, obviously you can tell, the red and blue version rather than the white version. First thing we're greeted with is the Switch and the two controllers. So we'll go ahead and pull these out. Oh, the whole thing comes out. So we'll put this to the side real quick. We got the HDMI cable. It's always nice to come with it. AC adapter cable for power. Another combo controller thing here. I already got one that came with the original, so that's cool that they still give you this without having to purchase it. These are the bumpers for the controllers, so that way you can use the buttons. And then of course the dock. Now let's see if the dock is any different than the original. Alright, so I can tell right off the jump the dock is a little bit different than original. So you do get still the two USB ports on the side. Something feels different about the inside. I don't know if they added, like, this part right here seems different. Nothing drastic. The only thing I can notice is the backside seems a little bit different. Looks like the cutout for the wires are different here. You also get, unlike the original one, you do get a Ethernet port there, which is cool. So LAN port right here for your Ethernet cable, HDMI out, and then this is where the power go. So it definitely looks a little bit different on the inside here. Again, that's cool that we got the upgrade for the Ethernet port. I know that was a issue people had with the original. And another thing that I'm hoping is that the case that I have right here from my original Switch, I'm hoping that should still fit on this as well. So we will find that out. So another thing that plagued the original Nintendo Switch, and I don't know if this is something that has been fixed with this version because it has been a while and there has been lawsuits put out for this controversy with the Nintendo Switch drift. Now I was plagued with that with my version, but it did take some while to affect me. So I did end up having to buy a replacement kit. So I did replace my actual Joy-Cons with my original one, but I am really hoping I don't have that same issue, knowing that I did have it 100% on the original. I'm not sure if every single Switch had that problem, but I know it is a well-known issue. So hopefully that is fixed on this one. We're just gonna go ahead and slide these in here just to put them somewhere while we unwrap. Here we are with what I switched for, pun intended. Now right off the rip, you'll notice that the borders, it's hard to tell, but the borders are smaller compared to the original, so that's another upgrade compared to the original. They did upgrade the kickstand as well, so another great upgrade. For whatever reason, I know I've seen videos and I did get my hands on the Switch in store, but it was in like a casing, so I didn't really get to look at it. I just got to see the screen quality, but I really do like this new kickstand upgrade. This is definitely way better than what the original one was, with the little sliver of a kickstand. I mean, it did its job. For the most part, it didn't bother me considering I have a case here that does kickstand out, so it didn't really affect me too much, but it is nice to have a better kickstand without having to buy a case. So that's pretty cool. Definitely gonna be a lot more sturdier than the original, and the original used to snap off too. So hopefully we shouldn't have that issue. But other than that, everything seems very similar. You do got the micro SD card slot there underneath, USB-C. As you all know, I am a firm believer of USB-C for everything, so always nice. But yeah, that is the screen. Let's go ahead and put these on, and we're gonna kick this bad boy on. It does have smaller borders, nothing crazy different, but it is smaller, so you will get more of a screen to body ratio, a better screen to body ratio, I should say. And I gotta say, Okay, I know you're seeing the lines right now because the recording through the camera, but yeah, I'm gonna go set this up and then we'll do a whole talk about what the original. That's the unboxing. This is the Switch. I'm excited. Let me get my games on here and then we'll talk about it some more. All right, here we are with both the Switches stacked on top of each other here, and at first glance I bet you can't tell which one's which, or maybe you can. If you didn't guess it, the Switch OLED is on the bottom and the OG Switch is on the top. First thing that would probably give it away for me is the larger borders on the old OG Switch compared to the OLED Switch with its 7-inch display over the 6.2-inch display. Right off the jump, just to save your guys' time, the OLED Switch is 100% worth the upgrade. Whether you're coming from the OG Switch or the Switch Lite, or maybe if you don't have a Switch at all, 100% can recommend the OLED Switch. Don't even waste your time watching this video. No, I'm kidding. Watch this entire video just to hear my opinion on why I feel that way, and then I'm gonna show you some of the differences between the two. If you haven't already seen it, I know this has been out for a little bit. I'm a little late to the party. This has definitely made me play my Switch more, just having better contrast. The pictures pop out a lot more. Definitely has brought more life to my handheld gameplay. Now, one of the first upgrades with the OLED Switch over the original OG Switch is that kickstand. Now, this wasn't really a big deal for me in the long run with the OG because I did rock this with the Mumpa case that has a kickstand on it, way better than what that one was able to provide. But now with the upgrade Switch, and because I don't have a case for this yet, this thing has been very useful and a lot more stable and sturdy, and definitely doesn't have you thinking twice if it's gonna break. Now, another great thing with the OLED Switch kickstand is its versatility over the OG one. Now, you can have this thing sit in any position you really want it because this is a lot sturdy material. The hinge system is definitely a lot better. I definitely don't see this thing breaking. Sounds like a aluminum metal style material. Any position you really want to put this in, you're good to go. So obviously if you're gonna play with these off and you want to sit at a desk or something and you want to lean over it, you can have it up like this and be good to go. Maybe at the angle you're at, you need to pop it up a little bit more. You pop it up like that, boom, good to go. So again, any way you want it, at any angle, there's no like grooves or anything. You literally just put it where you want it, and about as low as it goes is about right here. Unlike this one right here, all you get is this little itty bitty thing. It's plastic and flimsy for sure. It will snap off, and it's literally only on one side. It's not even in the middle, which would have made more sense if it's in the middle. You get no versatility. You're stuck in this position, and then on top of that, you have the mishaps of that falling like that just by touching it or it snapping off. Now, just those two upgrades alone is why I would say it's 100% worth the upgrade. The screen size being 7 inches and the vibrancy with the OLED display, and along with the brightness, and the kickstand with its versatility. Again, the kickstand's not a big deal because some people just rock it with a case and don't really use it, but it's just nice that the Switch is just built better overall. Everything from the wobbleness of holding it with the Joy-Cons attached with no case, a lot more sturdier than what the original OG Switch was. I don't know if I'll be able to get it on camera, but nothing in this video is going to be able to justify in-hand experience because I don't know why, science. But now some of the differences with these are very minute, but there are differences. So the OLED is on the left. You can see the vents are built different. Not a big thing, but it is different. The door hinge here for the games is different as well. Some people are complaining that the OLED is a little bit harder open. That's not a big deal. That's just nitpicking. You do get the headphone jack still in the same spot, and the main difference here on the top is going to be the power button and the volume button. So you can see on the OLED, it is more oval shaped with the power button, a little more smaller and slimmed down for the volume. That was the one thing that I noticed with putting on a case from the OG Switch to the OLED. The volume buttons didn't line up. The power button I was able to get away with, but when changing the volume, at least with this case that I had, is the dilemma that I'm having with why I had to buy a new case. Some cases are 50-50. They might work, might not work. But other than that, that's really the main differences. You aren't gonna notice too much other than the build quality and the screen. Now, I have noticed the battery life. Maybe it's just because it's a new device and I've been so used to the OG Switch battery life not being so great, but I do get a lot better battery life compared to the OG Switch. and obviously that display. That's really the only thing I can harp on. This display alone will make you bring this around with you more. It might be a honeymoon phase. I don't know, depending on how attached to the Switch you were previously. It will definitely better your experience overall just with the display quality. Now, that improved screen size is great as well. You'll notice that as well. It's great. Love it. Borders are smaller. Amazing. Love it. This is what the Switch should have been originally. This could technically be the Switch 2. It is a decent amount of changes into the Switch for it to be a kind of a new Switch without a new look necessarily. Again, they did come out with the white variant. I wasn't a big fan of white, especially if you're going to use it handheld. I feel like those would get dirty. I don't know. Whatever. I can always buy new Joy-Cons. It doesn't really matter the colorway. They got skins, cases, all types of stuff to get the Switch to look the way you want. I do have some accessories. I'll do that in another video. This is kind of just a quick comparison between the two. Now, performance wise, for me personally, I did notice a performance difference because like I said, I have the OG Switch. This one was when the Switch first came out, so it doesn't have that CPU upgrade. Pretty much this is the very first Switch that they came out with, so performance wise, it's not the best of the bunch, but again, it does give you the similar experience. Nothing that will make you not want to play it, but when you now get your hands on an OLED Switch, you really can't go back. Now, I can 100% say trade in your old Switch and get yourself a OLED Switch, or maybe do what I did and trade in another console. So I had an old PS4 Pro, and then I had my wife's Switch Lite. I traded both those in to get this, so I literally had to put no money down to buy this, and I had some money left over to get the screen protector. So trading in my PS4 Pro at GameStop and the Switch Lite, those are the two things. I got a little, almost 400 bucks for that. So again, however you go about it is up to you. Maybe you got some old games you want to trade in, whatever it is. That's why I love GameStop. You have the ability to trade in some of your older stuff. That's why we got to keep GameStop alive, especially if you're going to utilize your Switch. Some people might not use their Switch, so yeah, it might be a waste of time, but if you use your Switch, it is 100% worth the upgrade. Look at the difference here in hand. Again, like I said, you're not going to notice much on camera. It's going to be hard to tell. The main thing is the screen size that you're going to see on camera and those borders. I mean, look at those borders. Look at just how much better it looks with the screen being that much bigger. So yes, it is worth the upgrade. Again, I don't know when we're going to be getting a Switch 2 or a Switch Pro, so I say 2 years, give or take. So I think it's worth it. I don't think you're going to be missing out. Again, you can always trade in your Switch OLED for the Switch Pro. That's going to do it for me. I'm done talking. Again, if you like it, hit that thumbs up. Y'all stay nerdy. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.